Hey everyone, my name's Cal and this is James.
G'day.
We're here today to talk to you about our bulk write API. So it's a pretty new little API that we've built to help you to upload your data. The best use cases for this, if your data does or can match our record formats, you can find all of these record types in our Lexer Schemas page. But yeah, it's a fantastic way to upload a huge amount of data and or automate your uploads. There is an article that should explain most of this in detail, but this video is more focused on trying to show you how you can do it with a sample set of data. So the sample set of data that we're going to use for this testing is available to you, and you should be able to recreate this process pretty much entirely. Troubleshooting any problems that might arise can require a certain level of skill. So please make sure you have a look at our essential skills in our API page to start.
So before we get into this, the things you'll need to make this work seamlessly or need to have set up beforehand is some kind of terminal. So if you're using Mac iTerm or the command line, something like that, you'll need to have Python installed, ideally 3.7 or greater. You'll need to have the Git command line utility installed, and you'll need to have a token from Lexer with the right scope applied. We'll show you. We won't show you exactly how to do that in the video, but we'll tell you where the Learn articles are later in the video to get that.
Awesome. And don't forget, you will also need specific permissions. So make sure you've got the permissions required to kind of use our APIs and to create a token if you need one, which you will. Awesome.
Cool. Let's get into it.
So the first place you should all make sure you're starting if you want to do a bulk write upload is our Learn page. So we have some awesome content on here. And the whole process is run through in a pretty in-depth way. So we're going to kind of skip through this first section in our video, but please make sure you do read over it. Some information about formatting, etc. We're going to jump straight into upload your data into the hub. So the first step is to create a new dataset.
Cool. So as it says here, you have to have the required permissions to create and access datasets. So if you don't have those, obviously reach out to your success manager. But
I do have them.
There we
I
go.
can confirm.
So we're going to jump into manage.
Yep.
And then datasets.
Mm-hmm. Manage and datasets. Sorry, I rushed through that.
And then we'll create a new dataset.
Just down at the bottom there.
Sweet. And we're going to call this something cool.
No,
there
it's
we
not.
go.
Anyway. And then we've got to make sure the dataset type is correct.
Yep, so API enabled is the default, which is what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can go save dataset.
Oh, I do need a description.
That is true.
Sorry. Okay, so while it's loading, let's just check in back with this article. So we've done manage datasets. So we've navigated to manage datasets. We've created a new dataset, and we've filled in the name, description, and the dataset type, which is API enabled. Please don't use test dataset, that kind of thing. Don't be me. And once we are done, hopefully we're at that stage now, we can save the dataset tree.
Cool. So we'll click view.
Oops, sorry.
And that's our dataset ID, sort of right in the middle there.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll make note of that for later, or we'll just leave this page here and we'll come back to it in a sec. Cool. So, yeah, we've
All
done
these
that.
steps,
Got view.
we're just following along.
So if we scroll down to step 4, we'll skip step 2. We'll assume we've formatted our data correctly and we won't worry about CSV conversion. But yeah, in step 4, this is explaining how you would upload your data to our APIs. And we'll be using the example script that's mentioned here, so we can follow that link.
Example script right there. So this is our GitHub repository.
Yeah, so we're in Lexer Schemas. This is where we store all our public bulk write API code. This is the example script that helps you upload files. So down a little bit here, we have actually the commands that we'll be using to run this script. So you can see it requires stuff like a local file name, and that'll be the example file we'll be using in a second. The record type, which we've decided we'll be using customer record. The dataset ID, which we'll substitute for the one we created just then, and then an API token, which we can create in the Lexer Hub.
Yeah, awesome.
So we're going to follow the instructions for installing or using this script. But first we actually have to pull this repository down onto our local computer. So we'll be using the git command line for that. And Cal, if you go up to Lexer Schemas, yeah, we'll be cloning this repository.
Yes.
So using HTTPS is fine for us.
Very sweet.
Need that. So yeah, you can copy that. And if you go to the terminal, so from the terminal, we'll run git space clone, and then put a space and paste the address we copied from GitHub. Cool.
Sweet.
So once that's done, we'll cd into Lexer Schemas, and you can use tab to autocomplete if you want.
Yep.
And then we'll go into examples, and then file upload API. Perfect. You can hit enter.
Tab's great.
Tab is great. So we'll be in that same location we were just looking at previously, and
just for reference for anyone that's not sure, I am just going to run through that very briefly. So we're in the file upload area currently in this repository. Sorry.
Yeah, sweet. So we can now follow some of the sort of instructions here for installing the dependencies. You can see in the README file if you're curious, or just follow along with us. So to do this, you have to have Python 3.7 at the very least. So what we're going to do is run pip3 space install space -r, and then space requirements.txt.
.txt.
Perfect. Let's
Cool.
give that a go.
There we go.
Sweet.
Oh no, not running.
There we go.
Cool.
Wonderful. So we
Just move this guy up here. Sorry.
Cool. So we have all our requirements installed. If you have any trouble with this part, a lot can go wrong with Python requirements. I reckon Stack Overflow is probably your best bet there. My sincerest apologies, we can't really help with that. Cool, so we can start running commands here, and what we're going to do is we're not going to worry about uploading anything for now. We're just going to validate a file. So this is what you would be doing if you're sort of creating a file that you might want to upload, but you want to test if it's valid. Yeah, it's sort of, it'll give you feedback much faster than if you were to upload that file.
Awesome.
So if you do /upload.py.
Again, for reference, I'm just going to quickly jump over here and show you where James is getting these instructions. We're really just following these instructions here. So these are all the commands that we've added, and we're currently at which stage, sorry?
We're down here in validate.
So we're in validate. So I'm just going to be adding this. Should I copy it?
Sweet. So we'll actually be pointing it at a slightly different file.
Cool.
All
right.
So
dot slash.
Yep, dot slash upload, and you can actually use tab to autocomplete if that helps.
True.
Cool, and then the word validate,
and
then space dash dash local dash file name, like all one word.
Dash file name.
Cool. So you want to put a space there, and what we'll be doing is using those example data that we looked at before. So that's actually one directory up. So we'll have to do dot dot slash to go up one directory.
Dot slash.
And then data. And then slash.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be using the batch profile.
Batch.
Customer. So if you hit tab now.
I thought I did.
Yeah, cool. So these are all the options that we have. We'll be using the profile customer. I think if you hit tab, it should just populate the whole thing. Perfect. Wonderful. And then if you go dash dash record dash type.
Dash type.
Perfect. And then space. And we'll want to put customer underscore record.
Oops.
Wonderful. So if we run this,
if
everything works, there we go. Some pip errors, which you can blur out if you want. So yeah, what we've got here is our validation report. So we can see for the test data, we've got 2 total records, both of them are valid, and it was a successful attempt. So that means if we upload this to the API, all of our data should end up in a data set.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Sounds good.
Cool. So now we're going to use a token to actually upload that data into a live data set.
Awesome. Speaking of, we have a fantastic article on authentication and API token creation. Specifically for this one, as Jay said, we're going to be using a activity token. So follow the steps to create an activity API token, and you should be good to go. It's all done through the hub, so we're going to kind of just run through this process now, but the steps are there for you to follow. So let's do it.
Wonderful. We'll go to integrations.
That's the one. Thank you.
API tokens. Perfect. Create a new one.
I've already got one there. Whoops. Create a new one.
A good name and a description.
Customer test data. Yeah. Typing when people are watching.
Truly terrifying.
Yes. And then I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions, which is a little checkbox down there. And save. So now this is saved. You're not going to be able to see this because I've hidden this, but there is a token at the top there that we're going to be using, this blurs patch up here. You can reset the API token whenever you need, but that is our token. I've copied it. This is really important. Make sure you copy it now because when you try to come back and look at it, you may not be able to. So I've copied that token. And I'm going to click save. Cool.
So if we jump back to the command line.
Yes.
What we're going to do is using another one of the sort of examples in the README, we're going to create another command. So still using the upload .py file. So it'll be /upload.py.
/upload.py.
Perfect. And what we'll want to do is upload validate. So space upload validate.
Dot validate?
Underscore validate.
Underscore, thank you.
And then let's put a space and then a backslash there. It's backslash. I always get them confused. So then you can hit enter actually, and Bash won't submit that command. It'll just help it look a bit cleaner, hopefully a little more understandable. So we're going to still use that local file name. So the -- local file name, same as we did before. Local dash file name.
Local dash file.
And then it'll be space // data / batch profile. And then you should be able to hit tab. Awesome. There we go. And then we can put another / and hit enter again. We'll specify our record type like we did before. So it's -- record -type. And it's a customer record.
So space, customer record.
Yeah, that's the one.
Nope, dot record.
Cool, and then we'll put space and another /
Yep.
Other one. Sorry.
The /
Yes. And then we can hit enter. What we're going to do is go -- API - token. And then space. We can paste our API token.
Okay, again, this is going to be blurred. Sorry, guys, but there is a big code there.
Cool, and then we can put a space on the end of that and put another / enter.
Cool.
And now we're going to have to set our dataset ID. So if you go -- destination - dataset -ID.
-- destination -dataset
Yep.
-ID.
Cool, and then we put a space and we'll actually go back to the dataset UI.
So we'll go to datasets.
There we go.
And was it this one?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is the one that we created earlier.
It was.
And we didn't note down our dataset ID, so we're suffering for that.
Yes.
So
Don't
we go
be like us.
exactly. So we go view,
It's
and
up
then we'll
there.
be able to copy the dataset ID straight out.
Yes. So copied.
Wonderful. And we can just put it there.
Cool.
And if you hit enter, it should work. Did not like it. Let's see.
This is the troubleshooting phase.
This is the troubleshooting phase. So didn't like the record type that we put in. So we'll maybe just check our spelling. So if we hit up, and then you'll have to hit left arrow to go back a little bit. And what we want to do is change the dot in customer record to underscore.
I need to go up again to underscore.
Yes.
And then remove that one.
Yep, remove the dot and put underscore.
Underscore.
Cool, there we go. So our validation works of the command at least. So you can see there in the error, it says invalid choice customer dot record, and then gives you all of the sort of correct options you have to choose from.
We did this on purpose to show you troubleshooting.
100%.
All right.
So if we run that.
Cool, let's see.
Wonderful. We've got an upload ID,
Nice.
which means we can go into the log or the dataset UI.
Yeah.
And if we go into view,
We've got pending.
let's go and go to jobs.
Jobs.
So we've got a pending job now. And if we wait,
Running job. Not quite. We may cut this so the click works. That'd be cool.
it'll work any second now. Yeah, we might have to wait a little while. Oh, well, definitely. It'll
we can
take
check
a
in
while.
logs. So alternatively, we can check in logs.
Yeah, so in logs will appear two events. So one is the file upload itself, and then the second is the dataset load. So you can see the file was uploaded successfully, so we accepted it.
Yeah, which is great.
This step doesn't perform any validation. And then the dataset load step is what will eventually report on its accepted or rejected records.
Yeah.
So depending on the size of the dataset load, it can take anything from a couple of minutes to an hour or two. So give it some time.
Yeah, but it's in progress, which is a good sign. This is the recommendation really to use the logs feature at the moment, because you can validate that the file has uploaded first, and then you can also validate that the dataset load job has started. That kind of is a good indication that stuff's happening. Cool.
We just wait.
Now we just wait. So we'll go get coffees and we'll be back and you won't even notice. Okay, so in our datasets view, we can see that the dataset seems to be successful.
Yeah, so we've got 2 profiles loaded. And if you compare them with the example data, like that raw file we were looking at before, they should match almost exactly. Slight differences in the schema with once we've loaded it, we've added some metadata and stuff,
Yeah.
but basically the same information.
Awesome. So yeah, this is the default homepage kind of view for our datasets. If we go up to the View button, we can see in the Jobs tab, again, the same view as our logs, that the job was successful, and you can open that up and you'll get similar information. But we can also see this Clear Data button here. We can ignore the other 2 for now, but the Clear Data button is a really handy thing if you're doing any testing. It basically will wipe all of the data from this data set. It won't delete the data set itself, so you can use it for future testing, but it will clear the data in the data set. So create a test data set for this purpose and just clear it when you're done. You can use it again if you want to test another data set of your own.
And one thing about this clear, it won't be immediate. You'll have to maybe go away and make a coffee or a tea and come back, and then your data set will be good to load again.
Yes, yeah. We say it should take less than an hour, but it may take up to an hour. Shouldn't, but yeah. Cool. Anything else we want to cover?
No, I think that's everything.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that is our bulk write API. That's how you might want to test it out yourself with a sample data set. And yeah, thanks for watching. We may make a few more of these. If there's anything that you want to request, that you're struggling with, please reach out. We're happy to make some content for you if you'd like. Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.